everyone. Today's video is about making a family lasagna. So to start with, we're going to cook our mince first. Very important you cook the mince first. Even though it's 5%, you'll be so surprised how much fat comes out. Each one of these packs serves 4 adults. So while your mince is cooking, we're going to prepare our ingredients, which is 2 red onions, 1 teaspoon of garlic, and a teaspoon each of oregano and parsley. Keep an eye on your mince every few minutes, just to give it a little mix around, because as you see it cooking, it's turning brown. Onions peeled, cut them in half, and then I'm going to slice them into half rings. So then you've got the nice flat surface, and then cut them into half moons. And they are rather strong this morning. They're nearly getting me. If you do start crying, stop cutting. I might take a finger off. See, I've got a nice flat surface. I'll just roll it. Next up is our bacon. I'm just using normal household bacon you'd make a bacon sandwich with. You can just use normal household bacon. Got about 5 or 6 rashers of bacon here, and just a normal household pair of kitchen scissors. I'm going to chop this up into, so I've got 5 or 6 in there, little chunks like that. Chunky chunks, word of the day, chunky chunks. These are going to go in your pan after you've fried your onion and garlic together with a dash of oil. Then you're going to add the bacon. So I'm holding them all together and I'm just cutting them. Your bacon really needs to be cold for you to cut it like this. You can't do it when it's at room temperature. It won't cut. It'll be too soggy. So all my mince is now brown, and I'm about to drain it in these. So put yourself by a window and open it, because you're going to get a little bit of a fatty steam rising up. So here is the reason why I suggest that you cook your mince before we start actually cooking the lasagna. So I'm basically just got a normal sieve, and I've sat it inside the plastic tubs that the mince came in, and there that all goes there like that. Who's that out there? Oh. I would recommend you put your plastic tubs on something just in case they spill. Look at all of that still coming out, and that would have been sitting on top of your lasagna. And then as soon as that's dried and cooled down, I'm just going to pop all that in the bin. Okay, so next up, as you can see, I haven't even washed the pan up, there's no need. Put the gas back on. Just a bit of I don't know what, 4 tablespoons of oil's gone in there. Just normal vegetable oil, nothing. And here are the chopped red onions. All of them going in the pan. Just going to brown those off a little bit, and then I'm adding the garlic. Right, next up is the garlic. I wouldn't recommend powdered, but if you want to be a bit of a lazy girl, I think it's called, I buy the jar that's got the minced garlic already, and that's just 1 teaspoon that's gone in with the onions. So the onions have got a little bit see-through now, and the garlic, well, I can smell it. So we're going to add that chopped up bacon that we cut up earlier. All of that in there, turn the heat up high, and just stand over it for a few minutes, mixing it round, just until your bacon goes a bit see-through and then a bit crispy. So here you've just got your 2 herbs, a teaspoon of each, oregano and parsley, and this is garlic and herb cream cheese. Now although I know we've already added garlic, this just gives it something, so let's just keep adding it. It's about 4 4 teaspoons, maybe a little bit more, about 1/4 of a tub. And that's going to go in with this mix. That's hot. Next up is our passata. It's just a normal supermarket one, nothing high end. And the passata goes into your mix. And at last, the mince that has had so much attention to it, very, very gently tip that in with no fat. In that goes, and I just carefully fold that lovely onion, bacon, garlic, passata mix into your mince until it's completely enough to cover. Then a little top tip with that tub of passata, don't want to add any water to this, so if I was doing something else I'd add some water to this. So just for a few minutes I'm just going to tip that upside down so everything's out the bottom. So now we're going to make the cheese sauce to go on top of your lasagna. So if you don't want to use a shop bought version, I recommend this. So 4, 5 big spoons of the cheese sauce mix, freshly boiled kettle. So it's difficult to say what the measurements are. So best thing to do, stop saying so, and just pour a little bit at a time in. So this is just like making gravy. So the water must be boiling for it to thicken up. And we probably all just add a little bit at a time, give it a mix. You want it quite thick. And don't worry if you go too much water. Just add another little shake of that in there. A little bit more of that in there. So there, that's lovely and thick. When it's cooled slightly, we're going to pour that over the top of our pasta sheets. Next up is layering up our lasagna. My personal preference is the fresh pasta sheets, but dry are absolutely fine. You haven't got to do anything with them. I will say, mistake number 1, take them out of the fridge a couple of minutes before you want to use them, because they can rip like that. Never mind. Right, so here you go. You're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4 of these to dish up 2. Now I know from my sizing that I need to cut these a little bit, but I can still use them with that, so they're ready. These, we obviously use them for our takeaways for the business, but they're great if you're doing batch cooking, buy them in little shops, Poundland and the likes of, and then you can just freeze them down and then you've always got dinner in the freezer, which is what these dinners are about. So 1 big ladle full on the base, a little tiny bit more. Basically want to cover the base of that. Then you've got 1 cut to size lasagna sheet. And then I'm going to just pour in that lovely thick cheese sauce, just a little bit over the top, just so it covers that lasagna sheet. Like that. And then finish off with another large ladle, maybe 1 and a bit, depends how large your ladle is. By the way, Michael is actually working, he's here, he's just enjoying watching me do all the work while he's doing the videoing.
Yes, I am.
He's really. So then another 1 of those lasagna sheets on the top, and then we finish it off with a drizzling of that lovely thick cheese sauce. Just use your normal spoon just to cover it. Oh my God, look at that. That looks amazing. Good enough to eat, I'd say. There you go. Wait for it to cool down, stick a lid on it, put it in the freezer, or if you're going to cook it straight away, 200 degrees, 30 minutes, which is basically what I say about everything we cook. So we're going to serve our lasagna with a simple salad, which is just lettuce leaves, cucumber, tomatoes and some carrot ribbons and a bit of leftover. So just loosen around the edges a little bit to take it out of the tins. If you're in the tin, they don't always come out looking as pretty as they are unserved. Let's have a go. Not too bad. From our kitchen to yours, come cook with us.